In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to find purpose after career loss. A few weeks ago, I did a video sharing my experience of 2 years after losing my job at Goldman Sachs. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I found purpose after such. First, we have to realize, how do you process the loss? The reality of the emotional roller coaster cannot be overemphasized. It is first and foremost important for you to acknowledge the raw emotions. You might be feeling shock, anger, sadness, fear, and confusion. It's especially difficult if you're an international student like I was, because with being an international student, you are working with a time clock. If you are an American or a green card holder, you have the flexibility of taking your time and processing all that. But an international student is a little bit different, because then you have like 60 to 90 days to either find another job, or you might be thinking of having to leave the country entirely or start a new degree. Or if you're an H1B, you have less than 90 days to find another job with an employer who can sponsor your H1B visa. Look at that, having just 90 days to get a new job, to then not only that, have an employer willing to sponsor you. That is real, and that is shocking, and that is serious. So you have to acknowledge that. Then the question of why me, many people go through that process of like, why me? It's a natural question, to ask yourself, and given the circumstances. But that question has never, ever solved anyone's problem. So you need to understand that asking yourself, why me? Oh, I wish this never happened to me. Oh, I don't think that question really helps you. It's probably going to just make you feel more depressed, or make you not be able to ask the right questions, which I will get to. Then, what are the practicalities? How do you navigate if you're a US person, an employment benefit, insurance? What is your financial planning? And that is why, if you currently have a job, always prepare for the rainy day. Always prepare for the rainy day. Don't make any assumption, because it's not your father's company. You could get fired even when you're top performing, because the organization might be restructuring. For example, federal government job used to feel like, man, once you have a federal government job, you can go and relax. But with Doge in place now, there's a lot of ramifications to that. There's a lot of changes taking place even with that. So now we'll be discussing, how do you rediscover your identity? Please and please, never tie your identity to your job. Your identity is beyond your job title. You have to understand that your value and your worth is much more than any job you have. So you have to recognize, what are your intrinsic skills and passion that were present before the career came along? Or what are the goals and ambitions you had prior to this old job? Because sometimes I will be using the example of international student, because that was my experience. As an international student, sometimes you take a job offer because that was the one that came in at the right time. But that might not necessarily be the direction you wanted your life to go, but you just have that job as a placeholder. So remember, where were you going in the first place? If you had the place you were going in the first place, then maybe that this is an opportunity for a redirection towards your original goal and agenda. Also, there's this pressure of, man, maybe your friends that were at your former workplace, they will look at you like you are less than. Come on. Steve Jobs was fired from his job at Apple, a company he founded. So don't let the other people's pressure of, or other people's expectation of you, overwhelm you and make that an identity for you. For example, after my job loss, we had this, one of our friends were getting married, and we had to go for the wedding, and all my other friends were there, and a lot of people were asking, how is job, how is work, how is everything? And I'm like, unfortunately, I lost the job. It's not easy. You're gonna feel somehow, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, but at the same time, I had to go through that process of understanding that my worth was never this job in the first place. Explore new pathways, embracing the opportunity to redefine your identity professionally. And it is important for you to take it as a moment of self reflection. Take time to like really reflect. What do I really want out of life? And how do you go about doing it? Journaling, meditating, therapy to uncover some of the talents and desires and plans you had that are all gone to the back of the burner because of this job you had. One thing job does is that it makes you feel like everything is okay, but it could be taken away from you at any point in time. So it's always good for you to be taking steps in the line of making financial freedom plans, regardless of how satisfied you are with your job. Either you have some investment you are making while you have your job, or you are co-founding a startup, depending on the opportunities, or starting one yourself, or buying out small and medium businesses based off of whatever money you have access to. The next thing I'm going to say is finding your purpose. You have to reframe this situation. You have to view the career loss as a catalyst for a positive change in your life. You have to discover, what do I really want to do with my life? What do I really want to extend? What do I want to do? You have to identify what truly matters to you, that you say, this is me living a fulfilled life, and nobody can define that for you. Nobody can tell you this is what it means to be fulfilled. You have to figure it out. And it takes time of like self-reflection. For me, it was faith. I knew that at the core of it all, what mattered most to me is my faith. Because when I look at the journey of my life as a person, I've seen tremendous blessing of God. I came from abject poverty. And sometimes when you get all this big job and all of that, it makes you start forgetting where you came from. But I came from abject poverty not by my own power or by my own intellect, by God's grace and God's help, God's investment. And no man on earth can say this guy will be where he is now if not for me, or I made him. No, it's all by the grace of God. He used different people at different times, but no single person will make a claim, a sole claim, that if not for them, I won't be where I am. So that makes my own personal focus be like, man, how can I really serve the God who prepared the way for me, who brought people to help me, who supported me, who provided scholarship for me, who assisted me. I had to discover that through that moment of self-reflection. And that helped me to like say that, man, it's not about chasing American dream. It is really serving God that really mattered to me the most. All right. So you gotta pay attention to your life. And this thing really helped. I was listening to Steve Jobs and he was saying something about connecting the dots. We connect the dots in hindsight. So I would say, take some time to look back at your life and connect the dots thus far. What has your life been? What has been your greatest motivation? What has been the thing that whenever you think about it, brings out that childish joy in you, makes you want to run? What are those things? Maybe those are things you should rather pursue at this time. Okay, setting your intentions, define your goals, big or small, for a purposeful future. You have to now define, what is it that I'm chasing after? What is it that I want to go up to accomplish? And I will say this: don't let the people that are no longer paying your salary determine where you are going. It's very important, because sometimes you get stuck up on LinkedIn, checking where all your other friends are now. Or some of them are now vice president, or some of them are now managing director, and you put that unnecessary pressure on yourself. Or you're like, oh, I'm making this progress, I'm starting this whole thing, but I don't want my former employer to see it. Who cares? They ain't paying you nothing again. Why does their opinion of you matter? Why does the opinion of your former manager matter? It's no more your manager. If you don't break out of that kind of mindset? Why does the opinion of a former colleague or their thought about who you are, whether you are fulfilled in life, whether you are accomplished in life, why does it matter? It doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't. And it doesn't matter what they think of you. Even if now all you are choosing to do is to go to school, even if all you are choosing to do now is to be a stay-at-home mom, even if all you choose to do now is to say you are going to learn carpentry, it's nobody's business. You have to know what is the thing that makes you happy, what is the thing that keeps you excited about life, and do that. I don't really care what anybody that was in my former company think of me. Those of them that are still my friend, we are still friends. I move on with my life, with where I'm going with my life. If you allow those people to like keep you bound and you think their opinion matters, you will just keep enslaving yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Go on at life. Enjoy the life. Move on with your life. And sometimes I just gotta be real. You might need to go back to your own country. That might be your own case. But don't go back and still be living in the past of when I was in America. Go there and explore. You have acquired a degree as an international student. You have gained the Lord. Go there and lead. Go there and apply the knowledge. See, living in America is not all and be all. If that is not where God plans for you to be, it's not all and be all. I have a lot of people who studied in the US, went back to Nigeria, and they started unicorn companies. So don't let it just become an idol in your heart, whereby the opportunity prepares itself, but you're like, man, I cannot go. I just gotta stay in the US and continue to walk under the table and continue to just do some illegal stuff. No, don't do that. Your life is bigger than whether you are in America or not, especially in this day and age of internet. So take actionable steps such as career exploration. Do you want to continue in that career? So if you want to continue in that career, what are resources like online courses, workshops, career counseling you can take advantage of? And some of these companies, even though they laid you off, they will be able to provide those career exploration opportunities for you. Take advantage of it. Also, networking, career fair, reconnect with old contacts, build new relationships, reconnect with people that will refer you. And I benefited from that because the other job that gave me the offer came from my previous manager who told the other guy that I've left the company, and they connected me. I did the interview, passed the interview, got the job. So don't burn the bridge. Man, because you are no more working in the company doesn't mean you burn the bridge and you're like, all of you to hell with you. No, don't do that. If you feel like there was something beneficial about the relationship, pursue it. If you feel like the relationship is helpful, beneficial, is mutual, pursue it. If you feel it's not beneficial, then discard it. Take the first step, start applying for jobs, volunteering, or start a side hustle altogether. But take a step. First, you take the time to reflect on what is my next game plan. Man, losing a job is not the end, it's not the loss of life. But taking time to reevaluate your options and really think of what am I going to do next is very important. Finally, move forward with confidence. You are not done yet. You are still alive and you can still do so many great stuff. You see, if you ask many CEOs and founders, even Tesla, for example, there was a time Tesla almost went bankrupt. But Elon Musk never gave up. And eventually, Tesla is all it is today. So don't give up on your dream because of it looks like a closed door, it looks like you were laid off, or things are coming towards an end, or the company just folded and everybody is laid off, or you were fired. Think about it. If you're fired because of a crime, work on it and correct that, okay? But if it's just because of, oh, maybe you were not performing well, for example, because you were not performing well in the previous place, doesn't mean you are now a failure for life. No, you're not performing well, maybe because you were not in your right domain. Maybe you were not in your place of peak performance. Maybe you were even in the wrong career. Maybe you were doing what you didn't have passion for. Maybe take some time to do some proper self-discovery to know what is it you really care about. Because when you get to know what you really care about, you will perform well in that which you care about. You will perform well in that which is your true calling. And maybe it's their assessment of you, or maybe it was because you had some mental health issues, or maybe it was because you were overpressured. Whatever that case may be, Maybe it's just life, but maybe it's also an opportunity creating itself for you. Many people define their worth by their job. Okay, I have this 6 figures paying job, I have this 7 figure paying job. Good for you. But when you understand that a man's life doesn't consist of the things in which he has, you understand that it's irrelevant because guess what? If you were to close your eyes and dead today, you're not taking one jack of that money with you. So it's not your worth. It's you have to start thinking of something greater, of something bigger worth living for. Then build resilience, cultivate a positive mindset, and learn from challenges. The challenges that you were laid off should not make you feel like, yo, that is the end of the road, or make you start feeling less than other people who still have a job, or make you feel less than other people. No. Build a resilient mindset. Cultivate this positive mindset of how can I do better? How can I work towards what I want to be remembered for? Find joy in the process. Celebrate small victories and appreciate the newfound freedom. It's a freedom in itself, right? If, for example, you are having to now go entrepreneurial route, it's a freedom. You got to find joy in that process so that you are not stuck in the past, but you are clearly saying, yeah, I got to do better. Learn from that failure. Don't just discard some of the feedback you got. Don't just discard some of the things they told you could improve on. Don't say it doesn't matter, I don't care. No, 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 care. Listen to what the feedback was, the negative, the positive, and see how you can improve on the positive and see the areas of the negative you could work on. But sometimes even those negative feedback tells you areas of not your strength that you should probably avoid. Sometimes some people will be like, yeah, I gotta keep working on that negative. Sometimes, yeah, you can and overcome it. But some other times, the areas of your strength are showing you opportunities where if you can synergize and work on and improve and grow in no long time, you may become world class in those areas of your strength. Everyone has a weak spot, everyone has a strong spot. But to know what is it you want out of life and to embrace it and to find your calling and to find your purpose and to find your mission and to find your vision and to keep going at it with joy, with hope, with gladness, and to be sure that, man, you're alive. It's worth celebrating and not feeling like, man, I lost my job. My life is done. It's not done. Redefine your mindset and keep going at it. I hope this helps someone out there and helps you to be able to creatively start thinking of what is my next step? What is my next line of action? And keep going for it. Thank you for listening. God bless you.